Hey guys, if you're as hot cross crazy as we are, you're gonna love this next recipe. We are using our hot cross dough that we made in a previous video, and we are now going to use it to make hot cross cinnamon rolls. Stay tuned, and while you're waiting, I'm gonna dust my table with some flour. So now we're gonna take our hot cross dough, place it right on the floured surface, and use our rolling pin to flatten it out. Actually, you can flatten it out to your preferred dimensions. Some people like their cinnamon rolls a little thicker, and some of them like them a little thinner. If you do it thinner, you'll get more rolls in the center. Again, if you want more nerdy tips like this, you can either email me at Sweet Saak Bakery, or you can send a DM to Grocery Girl Jarita on Instagram. Lightly flour the top of your hot cross dough and try to keep it in as close to a rectangle shape as you can before you start to roll, because you're gonna want to eventually end up with a rectangle at the end. So with the rolling pin, start in the center of the dough, roll forward, center, back. And that's the technique that we're gonna use throughout the whole rolling process. Now we're just gonna make sure it's not stuck on the bottom. Do a little swivel. And again, with the center forward, center back. Then do diagonals from the center to the corners to ensure that you're keeping that rectangle or square shape. Roll along the top, along the sides, and along the bottom. So this is the desired thickness that I would like for my dough. So now that we have our dough rolled out to our desired thickness, we're gonna simply take some softened butter and spread across the entire surface of our dough. We're gonna sprinkle some brown sugar and some cinnamon on top of that. Those measurements are not defined. It's just a thin layer of both across the top. I'll demonstrate now. So we have our surface of our hot cross dough covered with the softened butter, and now we're just gonna sprinkle our brown sugar across the top. Not to completely cover, we're gonna use a spatula again to smooth it into the butter. But we do want enough sugar to go directly across the top without being too thick of a layer. If I had to estimate, this will be about a half a cup of brown sugar. So use a spatula and just gently work the brown sugar into the butter. Once the sugar is all adhered to the butter, we're just gonna take our Durkee ground cinnamon and sprinkle across the top. I always start from the corner and go diagonal. That's just me. Again, once you finish dusting the cinnamon across the top, use your spatula again for the last time to just smooth it into the butter and sugar. Okay, now the fun part. We're gonna start on one end and make little rolls. So start from the end and gently tap into the inside of the dough and use your hand to fold over. We're gonna roll this into 3 strips. So we're gonna use our bench scraper to cut straight down. You can use a knife if you don't have this tool. And we're gonna start again for our second strip. Fold over. Roll and cut. And then our last. So now that we have our 3 rolls, we're just gonna make sure that it's even thickness straight from the top to the bottom. So you might have to push some areas in a bit. Okay, so now you're gonna take your bench scraper or your knife and cut into 1-inch sections. So our hot cross cinnamon rolls are ready for the oven. They will bake at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes until the tops are golden brown and the centers are firm. Once they come out, we're gonna glaze them while they're still warm. So our cinnamon buns are warm from the oven, golden brown and firm in the middle. So we're gonna take this time to make our glaze to go on top. It's a very simple glaze. You're just gonna take 1 cup of powdered sugar and about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water. We're gonna start off with 2 and check the consistency. And if we need more liquid, we'll add it then. Just use your whisk and gently combine the water and the powdered sugar. And it's really that simple. So just use tight circles in the center and then gather the outside sugar and combine right in the middle. Did you need a, no? Okay, it's a little thick, so we're gonna add a little bit more water, not a full tablespoon. And that's the consistency you are looking for. So we're just going to take a spatula and remove some of the glaze and basically just drizzle on the top of each cinnamon bun. Judging on your taste in icing, you may want to double this recipe by 2 or 3 times. Some people like a lot of icing. I don't typically like that much. Okay, so here we go. Our final product, hot cross cinnamon buns, warm from the oven. Another perfect addition to your Easter baking schedule.